It's going.
Cool.
It's rocking and rolling. It's happy just strolling. All the things just flowing.
Oh,
The
okay.
ideas that we're knowing.
Who knew I was going to get some spoken word this morning?
Spoken word. Just part of the plan.
Perfect.
All right. Thoughts, feels, experience. How was the? We threw in the breathwork last time.
Yeah, we did.
Tell me about that experience for you and how it felt afterwards.
It was good. I was able to, I think, continue that awareness that I had had during session, outside of session, and just feeling a lot more like integrated and in my body, like settled in. I am feeling really tired. Like I've been sleeping so much, and like it's kind of a struggle to get through all the stuff that I need to in a day because my body, I think, is just so exhausted. And I didn't realize how tired it was. So that's been interesting.
Yeah, I think an easy way to put that is, for example, caffeine suppresses the feeling of being tired. And when we're sympathetically dominated for so many years, we are in essence long-term suppressing that need to be tired.
Yeah.
And then when the body actually creates the safety, then you're like, oh, all the work that we've been ignoring, all this work that happens, because what people will say like the sympathetic is the gas and the parasympathetic is the brake, which is true to a point, but there's this piece of it's gas in a different direction because your body is rebuilding, restoring, repairing, so it is doing work. It is doing things. It's not stopping doing things. It's just doing things on the inside. So the body's like, oh, we need to get rid of these cells. We need to repair this area. We need to move things. It's the recovery. It's the rebuild that is so critical to us, being everything that we want to be. They call one term they have is sleep debt. When you don't have enough sleep, it's called sleep debt. So this is a form of sleep debt. It's a form of not doing the oil change, not getting the transmission fluid switched, like those routine maintenance things that we were like, oh yeah, duh. If like you didn't change the oil, of course it wouldn't work right.
Of course.
And this is the oil change part of our body. It's like, oh, this is where we change the oil and do this maintenance work so it can continue to operate at peak performance. And when we deprive ourselves of those oil changes, it creates so many issues for us.
Yeah.
And do it long enough, and then that's why we start to see like chronic issues come up. Autoimmune, like Crohn's is an example, stress disorders. A lot of things come because it's like, oh, the machine has been abused for so long that things are actually just starting to break and not operate and not be able to hear themselves correctly.
Yeah, and I think it's so crazy with, autoimmunity and my previous burnout, that, these feel small and little in comparison. Like this burnout that I just had last month feels small compared to the other ones that I've had. And there's part of me that's like, I should have known better. Like I should be able to catch these cues. Like I've done this before. I've been here before. And it's not during the act of me doing that I can fully recognize. It's always happened after the fact. And at least I like now know how to nourish that back to like some sort of balance or back to my like previous homeostasis. But who knew that just because this homeostasis is better than it has been in years, that it's like, oh no, this still is not normal. I still have work to be done here. And it's humbling. Like it's humbling knowing that, no matter how much I think that I know my body and understand its cues, I still have so much more to learn, and trying to reframe it as I'm always going to be learning. Like there's not a finish line in this knowledge attainment. Like I should be in constant communication and talks with my body, and the way it's sending me cues is going to change versus the shame spiral that I go on, which is I should have done that, or I should know, or like all of those things that don't serve me. And I'm getting reacquainted with this version of me who has a little bit more capacity than the last burnout cycles did. And so of course all those cues are also going to be different too.
Yeah. And as the body is in essence kind of doing those deeper oil changes or those transmission fluid changes that have been ignored for so long. Now the body's like, oh, okay, because we're building awareness, and awareness is part of it, because if the body's not aware of something, then it can't do something about it.
Yeah.
And as you build awareness to that place, and as you build connection, the body starts to rebuild it, or service that area. Just like, oh, we're switching out the fluids and doing what is necessary, and it takes energy, especially when it's been put off for so long.
And it's also I can feel it in my body. Like I can feel the energy is like in my feet. Like I wake up in the morning and my feet hurt. Like I feel like I have like like I'm carrying around like stones or rocks, and it's like everything is weighted right now. It feels even different. Yes, my energy levels and also my ability to like concentrate, like that takes a lot of energy too. All of those are being impacted, but the one that's like the physical is like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wonder how often that's there and I don't really recognize it. Yeah, I don't know. But it feels lethargic. Like at one point this week I was like, am I getting sick? You know, like I really cannot get out of bed. It's like 10 a.m. and I need to be doing things, and my body just wants to be resting. And it's like, oh no, I'm not sick. I'm like, it's just my body's doing what it's supposed to. And I'm finally letting it.
Yeah, that's the huge thing.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed this with people, and even in my own journey, is that part of the journey is realizing that the rest is safe and it will end. Because people like freak out. You're like, as you said, you're like, I got to get all this stuff done. I got to do all these things. Or like, is this depressive feeling ever going to end? Which is like, a lot of people equate like that deep rest or that deep tiredness with a form of, it feels like depression. It can oftentimes feel like depression when the body's like, hey, we went real hard, like we need a restoration. That happens. It happens in relationships. It happens when people buy houses. Like there's this high that happens, and then there's like this natural like depressive, because we used our body so intensely. That kind of depressive feeling, which is like the body being like, hey, like we just went real hard. We need to restore, but like that's a scary feeling. That feeling of, that kind of depressive feeling that can oftentimes come up in these situations is a little bit like, oh my God, what's happening? Is this ever going to end? Like, did I lose my life force? And really, it's the body like restoring you so you can have more life force.
Yeah. And I keep coming back to each time like something like this happens. Like in the chronic illness space, it's called post-exertional malaise, or PEM. And a lot of people with chronic fatigue syndrome, aka pretty much goes along with any other autoimmune disorder that you can have. We have this yo-yo. So like you have a lot of energy, you're feeling really good, maybe for a day, a couple days, a week, months, and then you yo-yo back. And it's like a really slow, gradual, it's usually not like an immediate thing. For some people, it happens like in the moment. Like they'll be out grocery shopping and they will like immediately need to sit down and take a nap in their car. For mine, it always lagged, because I think those cues, my body and my mind were so disconnected that I wouldn't get those cues for days later usually. So it was really hard for me to predict that. And then there was no other option other than like when you get into, they're called like a PEM crash. Your body is shut down. Like all of your autonomic nervous system signals are not working correctly. Like you really do just have to be in bed for however long that it takes, but you have no agency in deciding to do that or to not do that. It's just happening. Versus now I have some agency, and I could feel myself this week choosing like, okay, I do need to do this thing. Like this is an active choice that I'm doing. I understand I'm going to need to rest more. I understand that I need to get more sleep tonight because I'm going to do this thing. And that feels good. Like even just having the capacity to be able to say like, oh, I acknowledge that my body is telling me that I need to rest, and I have this responsibility that I still need to do. So I'm going to do this thing. And how can I weave in more quiet? Like it doesn't also have to be like time in bed. Like, is it more quiet time with like my noise canceling headphones in? Is it like a walk around the park? Can I go and sit at sunset instead of walking on the beach at sunset? Can I just go sit at the beach and watch the sunset? Like how can I weave in more stillness and gentleness during a day and still feel like I can have the capacity to do the things that I absolutely have to do?
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels nice to be able to give myself that. But to your point, I don't remember what you said, but it was something along the lines of like it's safe to rest, like there's an endpoint to this.
Yeah.
And every time I have one of these little episodes, or especially when I get like cough sick, of like, oh, this is temporary. This isn't like the time before where like it just came out of left field and then it stayed for years.
Yeah.
It's that fear, and I can feel it dissipating like in my body's responses. But there is that moment of like the clenching, the bracing, like, oh my gosh, am I gonna have to relive these last 5 years all over again?
Ooh.
And it's like, oh no, like we're past that.
Yeah.
We're right now. We have new tools. We have new capacity. We have new, all of these things. It might feel like something similar is happening, but that's like the PTSD response. Like it viscerally feels like that in my body. Or I should say felt like that. It doesn't really anymore, but every time that something like this happens and I give myself some rest, I have to be like, oh yeah, and I'm going to do this so that I can in the future feel more vital, have more energy, have more clarity, etc. But it's a constant communication.
Yeah. Yeah. Constant communication, and the kind of ironic thing is when we have that fear reaction for the rest state, it actually interferes with the rest state.
Of course it does.
Yeah. Because it takes us back to sympathetic. You're like, oh yeah, like the answer for this feeling is to go sympathetic. You're just like, oh no, like the answer is to allow its process to go the way it needs to, which allows the body to find that rest and recovery that it actually needs.
It's like, oh, how wise are our bodies. That they're like, oh, this doesn't feel like rest.
Yeah.
The ironic part is I have started reading the Peter Levine book, Waking the Tiger.
It's a good one.
It's a good one.
That was one of my, it was actually the third major, it was further on in my trauma reading.
Yeah.
But after, like, if I was going to advise anyone where to start, I would actually tell people to start with Peter Levine and then go to some of those other more like denser or more complex books.
Yeah. Totally. I'm so actually really surprised that my therapist had like recommended this. I was like, oh, I have not read that, but I use the metaphor all the time that my body just thinks it's running away from a tiger, and here I am finally reading this book. So it seems very timely to be doing that. Also, while we're doing this work too. Yeah. And feeling the shifts, like even this morning I woke up and I was like bracing a little bit because I like already feel behind on stuff. I'm like, oh, I pressed snooze, like that was like an extra 30 minutes that I was going to have that I didn't have, and like it's like settle, it's fine, it's okay, like but these sessions are happening at really good intervals for me, because it's just enough time for me to like feel into the benefits of the session, but then I can feel my body coming back up to start to brace again. So I'm excited.
Nice. Yeah. So what do you feel your intention is today from what we've done so far? What are you kind of feeling? Because this is now the section where I've kind of done the iterative where this is kind of my standard, and now this is where we get more tailored of just like, okay, where are we looking to go?
I think I'd like to be open to hearing what my body is trying to tell me. Like really like the bodily sensations, I've been trying to tune in throughout the day and say like, okay, like where where am I feeling any tension? What is it telling me? How can I nurture that? How can I nourish that? And it feels very interesting that each day this week, all of the energy whenever I wake up is all going to my feet. Like it's like I'm stuck. And I feel like, okay, well, I'm stuck in this fear state. Am I stuck in this, like, I don't think that this rest is going to go away. So I feel like emotionally and physically stuck here. Is there just things that need to move through me? Am I due for an emotional release that I haven't sat with? But I feel like this feeling, this heaviness in my feet is trying to tell me something that I'm not quite sure what yet.
Wow. So we can definitely tune into that and explore that.
Yeah.
I have a particular meditation that I'll take you through at the beginning of the session. So kind of just awareness, go for there, ask some questions.
Love.
Because that's the beauty of this, is we tune the body in, we can actually hear what the subconscious, we call it the subconscious.
Yeah.
And what it really is just other parts of our brain. We're really used to speaking to the language part of our brain that uses words. And the thing is, words actually are representative of pictures, sensations, images. And as we become more in tune with our body and actually learn how to properly recognize and interpret what those other parts of our body are saying, it takes time because it doesn't operate in language. It operates in pictures and sensations.
Yeah.
And it's this dance of figuring out, what is it actually saying to us? For example, when I've worked through I had some sugar stuff that I've worked through in my life. And part of it was realizing that my hunger cue wasn't for sugar, it was for food. And when I actually properly fed myself of nutrient-rich food, that hunger went away. And so I could look at that cue from my body and say like, oh, my body's lying, it was just telling me to eat junk food. But really it's how I learned to interpret that sensation. And how I knew I was incorrectly doing it was because when I ate sugar, I wasn't actually full. Didn't actually feel good. But when I ate the nutrient-rich food, I felt so much better. So it's finding that journey of okay, like what is my body actually telling me? And kind of playing with that and learning. It's learning a language. You're learning the language that doesn't use words, uses pictures and sensations, sounds. And being able to allow yourself to explore that is really powerful in, as you said, like managing what you want to and being able to live in the amount of energy that you want to.
I hope we get to my sugar cravings at some point too, because that sounds really helpful.
Yeah. All righty, my friends. Let's